WFYI podcast brought to you by Bloomington, Indiana, an American college town offering food and drink, college sports, outdoor activities, live music, cool art, and good times daily. Everyone is welcome in Bloomington. More information at visitbloomington.com.
This is WFYI News Now. It's March 12th, and I'm Aubriana Herman. On today's show, a new archival photo project on some of the most historic buildings in Indianapolis. 2 bills Governor Holcomb signed into law. One requires the state to compare voter registration to BMV data on credentials given to non-citizens. The other holds back nearly all third graders who fail a reading test. And we've got a conversation with one of the 7 new City-County Council members, faith leader Dr. Carlos Perkins.
We felt that we not only can push from the outside, but we also can lead from the inside.
Those stories coming up. But first, Indy Parks will offer free public Wi-Fi at several parks across the city. WFYI's Darian Benson has more.
Indy Parks has installed high-speed Wi-Fi at 19 facilities. The department plans to install Wi-Fi at 10 more locations by the end of summer. The initiative is funded by $500,000 in American Rescue Plan dollars and is in collaboration with the Information Services Administration. Indy Parks says offering public Wi-Fi will allow facilities to host more community events, expand program offerings, and provide spaces for students that support learning. 98% of Indy Parks facilities will have public Wi-Fi once the project is completed. I'm Darian Benson.
The construction of some of the most historic buildings in Indianapolis is the focus of a new archival photo project. WFYI's Jill Sheridan has the details.
The John Claus Campbell Construction Company has nearly 150 years of building in Indianapolis. Historian Ed Fujawa knew he had something special when current 6th-generation owner Bill Nagler showed him a collection of photographs.
The scope of their work in the city was so big, and they had these fantastic images of all these projects, these major landmarks.
The images depict historic buildings in various stages of construction. Some of the buildings include the Mira Temple and the Walker Theater. The University Library at IUPUI recently digitized the collections. A discussion that digs into the company's history and the significance of these historic buildings is scheduled this week at Indiana Landmarks. I'm Jill Sheridan.
Governor Eric Holcomb signed a bill yesterday that critics say violates federal law when it comes to removing people from the voter rolls. The controversial measure requires the state to compare voter registration to Bureau of Motor Vehicles data on credentials given to non-citizens. People flagged by the comparison would have to show proof of citizenship to their county election officials within 30 days in order to be able to vote. Immigration attorneys say that proof is difficult and sometimes impossible to obtain within 30 days. And the BMV data is often out of date. The citizenship provision won't take effect until July of 2025. The bill also allows the state to buy people's credit information to compare it to voter data and flag potential mismatches. Similarly, the state will search the voter list for people whose addresses appear to be non-residential. County election officials must then further investigate to ensure people are appropriately registered where they live. Governor Holcomb also signed a controversial reading retention bill into law yesterday. The new law will hold back nearly all third graders who fail the state's reading proficiency exam. Lawmakers in both chambers passed the bill as a way to address low reading scores in students advancing to 4th grade without being able to read. Those who oppose the bill say retention hurts students socially and emotionally and punishes them for inefficient teaching methods. Those in favor say holding students back is less disruptive long-term than advancing them in school without foundational reading skills. The measure includes exceptions for English language learners and students who have individualized education plans, excel in math, or have already been held back. The new law also mandates the creation of reading screeners, requires schools to start testing in 2nd grade, and expands eligibility for summer school funding. And for our final story today, Indianapolis welcomed 7 new city-county councilors this year. One of them is Dr. Carlos Perkins, pastor of the oldest Black church in the city, Bethel Cathedral AME Church. I sat down with Councilor Perkins to talk about the impact religion has on local politics and his priorities for his first year on the council. So why did you run for the City County Council?
Our motivation to run for public office really started out of our work for advocacy and organizing. And as a result of our work with the Black Church Coalition, we felt that we not only can push from the outside, but we also can lead from the inside. And so that's why I'm here. And a month and a half into the job as the City County Council for District 6, and still with the priority of serving the community as our number one going forward.
Okay, so what are specific issues you plan to address while on the council?
There were three issues that really undergirded our run. The first of which is around public safety. Within public safety was the issue around mental health and crisis response. And we're happy to say over the last 8 months that the city, through public safety, has established a crisis response team, not only in the downtown community, but have expanded now over to the east side. We're really, really proud of that work. And without a doubt, for me, how we educate, what we afford for our young people, how we measure success, how our students are tested and afforded opportunities beyond classroom, those things are important to me. And so we are excited about working to make sure that we are positively impacting education for all of our residents across not only District 6, but Marion County and Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm. And here in Indianapolis, we have one of the highest numbers of churches per capita in the country. And as pastor of the oldest Black church in our city, how do you believe religion shapes politics?
Without a doubt, I've served as a faith leader for the last 22 years. I've been pastoring Bethel Cathedral for the past 6 years. I am the 44th pastor of a church that is 187 years young. Bethel Cathedral has always been an anchor institution in the city of Indianapolis. We are the church of Madam C.J. Walker. We're the church of the first elected Black congressperson from the state of Indiana. That is the muscle of Bethel Cathedral. Our faith has always paired with action. Our faith in action looks like work beyond the four walls of the church. Our pastors, specifically through Bethel, has always been involved in community work. And so our call is to not only service individuals through our faith, through our ministry, but also in the public square. And so that's what motivates me. That's what gives me joy. That's what allows me to wake up in the morning early and stay up late at night, that we are serving individuals that might not be able to speak up for themselves.
And what are some of the changes you hope to see during your first year as counselor?
Oh, wow. That's major. A couple of things that we want to see. We want to double down on the work around public safety. It is our goal. It is our hope to work alongside the police to address some issues that came up that have been within the police department that we want to make sure that we address going forward. I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues in the council to impact development, to impact education, to impact public safety. We want to see public transportation be available to individuals that might not be able to purchase a car, but need to get around not only downtown, but get around the city. I would love to see, as one of my priorities for housing, that we look into a housing development project in District 6. And so there's so many things that are on the agenda for our first year, but we will double down on public safety, education, and making sure that we are serving individuals in our community.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Perkins.
Thank you for the invitation.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by the following people who live in your community: Darian Benson, Drew Dodlin, Kendall Antron, who composed the music for this podcast, and me, Aubriana Heron. Our news director is Sarah Neal Estes. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.